since last week, and we have been uh,
Siapa Bu? Okay. Tolong diinformasikan mahasiswa.
Nila, Dr. Rafida is actually having an internet connection problem, so she's trying to reconnect, okay?
Okay, sorry Nila, I got disconnected just now.
Okay, I understand that. It happens.
Okay, so far we have about 18 students. Actually, Nila, we have informed them in the WhatsApp group about their facilitators have informed them earlier in the WhatsApp group. Maybe they did not. Yeah, because perhaps it's too early to inform them.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, but never mind.
With regard to the brochure, I just found it in the global group 3 yesterday, but not in the other group.
Yeah, in the website, yes, we have put it there quite some time. Okay. Thank you, Nila.
You're welcome, Dr. Rafida.
Okay. Yes.
Makan-makan ke apa? Makan-makan ke apa? Ya.
Ain cari PLC 0.10.
010.
Ain dah report dekat dua.
Ain dah register ke?
Dah. Ain dah masuk sistem.
Okey, tapi sepatutnya dah ada kat sini.
Ya betul. Itu kat Ain nak itu. Yes.
Okay, it's 12:04 now. Okay. My voice clear. Okay, Assalamualaikum. Very good afternoon to everyone in UP and in University Technology in ABB Kuala Lumpur. Okay, all right. So yeah, it's 12:05 already. So I think in Indonesia it should be around 11:05. Yeah. 11:05 Nila at your
Yes,
your time.
11.
Okay.
Yes,
All right.
11:05.
Okay. Okay, so we have about 47 in our Zoom here, and quite a number, yeah, about 16 in YouTube. Okay, YouTube channel. So if you can't join in Zoom, okay, you can go to our YouTube channel. Okay, all right. So today is our last webinar session for the program, for the Go Global program. Alhamdulillah, this is the sixth webinar. Okay, so the what we call it, the ceremony, the closing ceremony would be in November this month on the 24th. Okay, so we hope that by 16th of November all assessment, all evaluation of student tasks and the result will be ready by 16th of November, so we can get ready with the preparation for our closing ceremony. Okay, all right, so to students who have submitted all the tasks, congratulations. You have another task to go today. All right. So without further ado, I pass the session, okay, to our moderator for the day, Mr. Yadi. Over to you, Yadi.
All right, thank you, Dr. Rafida. Okay, Assalamualaikum and a very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us today. It is my pleasure to welcome all of you to our sixth and final Go Global Webinar 2022 entitled Interview Skills, organized by Akademi Pengajian Bahasa Kampus Kuala Pilah, Universiti Teknologi Mara UiTM Cawangan Negeri Sembilan, and Universitas Pahlawan Tuanku Tambusai. I'm Yadid Ashar Hasanuddin, your moderator for today's webinar. So before we get started, I'm going to go through some housekeeping matters. First, as a reminder, first of all, we are on two platforms, which are Zoom meeting and our YouTube channel, Akademi Pengajian Bahasa UiTM Campus Kuala Pilah. Secondly, kindly turn off your microphone and camera throughout the session if you are in the Zoom meeting. If you have any question during the session, you can switch on your microphone to deliver your question to the speaker if you are in the Zoom meeting, or you can type your question in the Zoom meeting chat box and YouTube live comment section. I will attend to the question later in the Q&A session. For Go Global participant, all slides, recordings, and documents will be shared via Google Classroom. Lastly, the attendance link will be provided at the end of this webinar for the e-certificate. For UiTM staff, training hours will be provided. And of course, we will have a photo session after the Q&A session if you are in the Zoom meeting. Before we begin our session, I'm very happy to welcome our today's speakers, Dr. Rafida Kamaruddin and Madam Nur Fazlika Abdul Karim. Let me first introduce our two guest speakers for today's webinar. All right. Dr. Rafida Kamaruddin has served UiTM for 20 years. She holds a Master of English in TESOL from International Islamic University Malaysia, and she also holds PhD in English Language and Applied Linguistics from University Birmingham. Her research interests will be corpus linguistic as well as learner linguistic. As for Madam Nur Fazlika, she holds a Bachelor of Human Science in English Language and Literature and Masters of Human Science in Teaching English Language as a Second Language TESOL from both of the degrees comes from International Islamic University Malaysia, IIUM. IIUM. She has served UITM for 15 years. Both of them are seniors lecturers. Uh, Thank you so much for spending time with us, Madam Nofazlika, as well as Dr. Rafida Kamarudin for our today's session. All right, so without further ado, I would like to welcome our first speaker for today's session. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I am pretty sure by now that we really look forward to hearing what Dr. Rafida and Madam Nofazlika are going to share with us on the topic entitled Interview Skills. So the first part of the session will be shared by Madam Nofazlika. So without further ado, Madam Nofazlika, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Yadi. Alright, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And a very good afternoon to viewers in Malaysia, while a very good morning to viewers in Indonesia. Okay, so I know that this webinar session for those who are in Malaysia are near to lunchtime, okay, and people are starving, but please bear with us until the end of the session, okay? All right, so today's webinar, the topic is on interview skills, and we have divided the session into two parts. Okay, so I will cover on the second part of the session, while Dr. Rafida will cover the second part of the session. Okay, for the first part of the session, okay, I will be explaining on what is a job interview and the preparations that we can do, okay, before attending an interview. All right, while the second part will be covered by Dr. Rafida, as I said just now. All right, so please bear in mind that for these interview skills, okay, we are going to focus on job interview and not job promotion interview or scholarship interview, okay, because this is actually parallel with series of the previous webinars that we have conducted previously. All right, so to start off, okay, so what is a job interview? Okay, so job interview is a process of two-way communication, because we know it involves employer and also employee, or the interviewer and also the interviewee. So therefore, it's a process of two-way communication. All right, and then it is a tool for potential employers to use to evaluate you or to evaluate the candidates. So basically, when we talk about tools, okay, it is actually to assess the knowledge, skills, and also abilities that a candidate possesses. All right, and then whether candidates' qualifications, experience, and skills, and also salary need actually compatible with the position and also the organization itself. All right, and also the third objective is actually to clarify unclear things, okay, stated on the resume, because we know that our resume mostly contains a simplified information of the candidate's background. So I think during an interview, it is actually the best time, okay, for the interviewer to ask further, okay, information about whatever that is stated in the resume. Okay, and next is actually job interview is an opportunity, okay, for you to assess the job, okay, the organization, and to see if there's a fit. All right, so opportunity for you to assess the job is actually for the interviewee, okay, the job, the organization, and to see whether there's a fit. Because for example, during the interview, you can actually ask the interviewer about the job specifications and whatnot. All right, so you can know further about the job that's being offered. All right, so the types of interview. Okay, so since COVID-19, okay, now we have one type of interview, which is quite famous nowadays. We call it the telephone or online pre-screen interview. Okay, because of this limitation, we cannot actually meet each other. So we have this telephone and online pre-screen interview. Okay, the second one, we have direct one-on-one face-to-face interview, one interviewer and one interviewee. Okay, and then we have the third one, which is is the panel face-to-face interview, where we have an interviewee with a panel of interviewer, or we can also have numbers of interviewee at the same time in that particular room. All right. Okay. Moving on to the next slide. Okay, so how to get ready for an interview? Okay, so what you have to do is you have to do some self-evaluation. All right, so you have to question yourself. Number one, experience, how your present and past experience relate to the position. Now, if you are currently working, then shouldn't be a problem because you have an experience to relate to. But however, if you are a fresh graduate, so what can you do is actually to relate with your final year project. Okay, you can also relate to any part-time job that you have done before, or you can also relate to your internship, okay, experience. Okay, the second is actually the career goals. What are your current and future career goals? Okay, this is related to your aims in your professional life. What do you want to achieve? Okay, all right. And the third one is skills and expertise. What skills and expertise you have to offer, the skills that you would like to develop and improve. Okay, so for example, if you want to improve leadership skills or communication skills, all right. Okay, and the fourth one is location and also salary. All right, so what are your priorities? Okay, don't tell me that you don't really care about location. Okay, maybe during the day of the interview, you might tell that or inform that to your interviewer. But the things that you need to consider is your travel time. Okay, the distance from your home, okay, to your workplace. And also when we talk about salary, it's actually whether your job role is paid based on the value of the business. All right. Okay, so we are done with the evaluation. Then we move to what are the things that you need to prepare yourself before the interview in the next slide. Okay, now one of the tips is actually to spend time researching. Okay, whether you like it or not, you really have to do this. Okay, you need to research the company because you need to learn valuable information about their business, their clients, and also the industry in general. So you need to know what are they been doing. Okay, and then number two is to research the key players information. So when I say key players information, okay, this is actually related to those who hold important position in the company, like the managers, department directors, and then especially the CEO and also president of the company or the organization. And in fact, they might be one of the interviewers, so it's good for you to know them. Okay, so you can actually address them accordingly. That will actually give an added value to your presentation during the interview. Okay, and the third one is annotate the job description. So why do you have to annotate the job description? It's actually because job description will lay out all the essential skills that the employer is seeking. Okay, so the employer would want to understand how you actually develop those skills. All right, so that actually gives them a reason why they need to hire you. And during the interview, normally the points in the description can serve as the basic question. So if you know the job description, you can actually get yourself ready for the questions that they will ask you during the session. All right. Okay, so the second tips before attending an interview is to practice the interview. Okay, number one is write down a list of possible questions. Okay, write down a list of possible questions. After this, I will look at the questions, okay, together with you. Number two is practice interview situation with someone. Okay, so you can actually pretend to have a mock interview with your siblings, your parents, okay, with your friends. Okay, so because you have this list of possible questions, so what you can do is you just give the question to them, okay, and ask them to ask you the questions that you have prepared. All right, see how you are able to actually answer those questions. All right, okay, next slide. Okay, so this going back to the question. Okay, so these are among the common interview questions, okay, that I have listed down. All right, so number one, where do you see yourself in 5 years? It could be 10 years or 15 years, okay, but the most common question that being asked is, where do you see yourself in 5 years? All right. Now, this question is actually to see or to get a clear picture about your career goal. Okay, so for example, you can answer this question by saying that I would like, or I would want to be better at my job, or I would like to outgrow myself. So that is how you see yourself in 5 years. Okay, all right. Question number 2. What are your strengths and weaknesses? Okay, so in order to answer this question, you need to craft your answer with a high degree of self-awareness and also professionalism. Okay, in the sense that you cannot tell us that you don't know your strength or you don't know your weaknesses. You have to know. Okay, so you need to have self-awareness on strength and weaknesses, and but at the same time, you need to maintain professionalism. So, for example, how to answer this question? If you can just say that in terms of strength, I am a good team player, all right? And then as for the weakness, you might say that I focus too much on one task. Okay, so still you are showing the professionalism part of you. Okay, so do not try to relate, okay, back to the question. All right, so question for number 3, why should we hire you? I think this is the most famous questions of all. Okay, why should we hire you? So what you can do is you have to show that you have the skills, experience, okay, to do the job and to deliver it at great results. All right, so you have to give or this is the time for you to actually sell yourself, okay, in terms of your experience and also your skills. Okay, people will say that you will be bragging, but be it, okay, because this is a time, is a chance for you to actually sell your skill and experience. Okay, all right, moving to the next slide. Okay, so that one, okay, the slide previously is actually the first round. Okay, question for the first round. Okay, now are the common interview question for the second round of the interview. Okay, so question number 4, what is your current salary? Okay, so as I said just now, if you have you are currently working, then you can just tell them your current salary. However, if you are a fresh graduate, what you can do is you can tell the salary range. Okay, not necessarily, I mean, it's not actually nice to put a number, okay, a figure, but it is actually better to have a salary range. Okay, if you are a fresh graduate. All right, and question number 5, what is your work style? Okay, so this one, you have to focus on your soft skills. Okay, for example, your work style, okay, in terms of communication, leadership, motivation. So relate to these soft skills, okay, if you want to elaborate further on your work style. And lastly, question number 6, what motivates you? Okay, so normally what do you actually enjoy doing, or what do you do well at? All right, for example, you like coaching others, and you like completing a difficult task or a difficult project. Okay, so those would be something that motivates you. All right, okay. Okay, I hope you're still with me for the next slide. All right, on before the interview. So tips number 3, choose the right outfit. I think mostly a female candidate will be having a huge problem, okay, to choose the right outfit. All right, so but I'm here, okay, to guide you, to give you some tips on how to choose the right outfit. All right, so number 1 is find out what the dress code is for the company or organization. Okay, for example, is it casual, business casual, smart casual, and etc. All right, and what you have to do is number 2, dress one level above. Okay, one level above the company dress code. Okay, meaning that whatever that you will be wearing on the day of the interview, you have to make sure that it is above what the employees at the company wear on a day-to-day basis. Okay, so if they wear casual, then you should wear business casual. And if they wear business casual, then you have to wear smart casual. All right. Okay, so the rule of thumb is actually overdressing is better than underdressing. All right. Okay, but after this, in the next slide, I will explain further on choosing the right outfit. Okay, I just would like to touch on the fourth tips first, which is to be on time. All right, so try to arrive at the interview location a little early. How early is that? Okay, it is advisable for you to actually arrive 20 minutes earlier than your session. Okay, why? Because this will actually allow you to sit calmly and collect your thoughts before your interview session. Okay, and how would you be able to arrive early? Of course, you need to survey the location at least a day before the interview session just to get yourself familiar with the route. All right? Okay. All right, let's say if anything happened, okay, something happened and then you couldn't make it on time. So what should you do? So if you are going to arrive late, call and let them know, okay? Because this is actually, if you are late, then it will show such a bad impression and it is actually a reflection of your personality. So we don't want that to happen, okay? So, but make sure if you are late, ensure that you have a very good reason for that, not because you are overslept. Okay, for example, there was a roadblock, accidents or flat tires. Okay, those will be reasonable reason lah. Okay, to tell your interviewer or the person in charge for the interview. All right. Okay, the next slide. Mr. Yadid. Okay, all right, going back to choosing the right outfit. Okay, because why? Because it's a bit lengthy here. There's a lot of information that I would like to share with you. Okay, here there are several, okay, example here as you can see, choosing the right outfit. All right, number one, you have professional and business interview. Number two, non-professional and business casual. Number three, casual interview attire. Okay, number four, we have traditional attire. I think Malaysian and Indonesian candidates, we actually share almost the same traditional attire, baju kurung. Okay, and then blazer with long pants for ladies and blazer with long skirt for ladies. Okay. All right. Don't worry, man. I save some of the outfit for you as well. So I will explain after this. Okay. The next slide. All right, so men's outfit, number one, okay, you have to, it is recommended for you to actually wear suit in a solid color such as navy, black or dark gray, okay, and then a long sleeve shirt that is white or color coordinated with the suit. Okay, when I say color coordinated, meaning it's blended or matched to a particular color scheme, okay, with the suit. All right, so that is the best. Number three is a leather belt and tie. All right, number four is dark socks and conservative leather shoes. Okay, so when we say conservative leather shoes, it has to be cap toe shoes, leather shoes. Okay, and when I say conservative, means shoes which are made from a single piece of leather without any features or decorative features. Okay, that is why it is called conservative. All right, and neat and professional hairstyle. All right. Okay, next slide. Okay, so these are the outfit that should be avoided by men. Okay, number one is unusual color suits. Okay, as I said just now, it has to be solid color, then unusual colors. Okay, like orange or yellow. Okay, so don't wear that. All right, number two is a graphic and round neck t-shirt. Okay, graphic and round neck. Even if you're trying to be casual, please make sure that your t-shirt is actually plain, all right, rather than graphic. All right, because we want to maintain the professional look of you. Okay, number three, ill-fitting suits. Okay, ill-fitting suit meaning that you wear the wrong size or shape, okay, that doesn't fit you. Okay, all right, and then hat and cap. also please avoid that. And then open toe shoes, as I said just now, it has to be cap toe shoes, and please avoid sneakers. Okay, and lastly, do not wear bow ties but instead wear tie. All right. Okay, next slide. Okay, as for the woman's outfit, limited jewelry. Okay, so perhaps you can wear a watch, a ring, okay, and then a single bracelet or one layer of necklace. Okay, not so many layers of necklace. Okay, number two, if you're not wearing hijab, okay, you have to maintain a professional hairstyle by having a classy bun or ponytail or a long braid. Okay, and then light makeup and a limited amount of perfume, because you don't want the interviewer to get distracted, okay, with the perfume. All right, and then again, conservative shoes, the one that I have explained for the men's outfit just now. Okay, so it's the same thing. All right, and then clean and neatly manicured nails. All right. Okay, as for women, you have to avoid this in the next slide, please. Okay, spandex materials. Okay, spandex materials means synthetic fabric known for its exceptional elasticity, okay, which will not look good on you. All right, and then also, if you're wearing hijab, you should not be wearing see-through hijabs, okay, because the main objective of wearing hijab is actually to cover your aura. But if you have wearing see-through hijab, meaning you'll be exposing your neck areas and parts of your body, okay, so it defeats the purpose. All right, and then you should avoid from wearing skinny jeans or pants, okay, because it will look so unprofessional. All right, and avoid also printed or colorful hijab, checkered polka dots or strong animal printed blouse. Okay, those are also considered as distracting. Okay, so I think there will be a major problem, especially for male candidate. Okay, even after listening to my explanation, at the end they might be questioning themselves, so what to wear. Okay, so basically the overall idea of choosing the right outfit is actually to achieve the professional look. But no matter what you choose, be sure that you are comfortable in whatever that you are wearing. Okay, because why? Because even though you try to look professional but you feel uncomfortable in certain outfit, then it will eventually affect your overall performance during the interview. So we don't want that to happen. Okay, because even though clothing or outfit actually contributes, okay, to part of the marks for the interview session, but your overall performance during the interview is much more important. Okay, all right, so I guess that's all from me. Okay, so Dr. Rafida will continue with the second part of the session. So back to you, Mr. Iyadi.
All right, thank you so much, Madam Fazika, for the sharing session just now before the interview. What do we need to prepare before the interview, and what do we need to do before the interview? Now, I would like to invite Dr. Rafida to continue the session for our next part for the interview skills. Dr. Rafida, the screen is yours.
Okay, Assalamualaikum. Very good afternoon or afternoon, everyone. Okay, so, right. So I'm going to continue the second part of the session. All right. So you are all ready now with the preparation before attending the interview. You are already with the attire, with all the preparations before attending the interview. You have ready with the you have practiced the interview questions and all set to go now. Okay. So we are here now at the interview venue. Okay, venue of the interview. Okay. So let's share the slides now. Okay. Can you see my slides? Yeah?
Yes,
Is it there?
yes, we can
Okay,
see.
all right, thank you. So now you are here now, you are ready, okay, to to go for the interview. All right. So now let's begin with the what you should do, the do's and the don'ts during the interview session itself, which is the most important part of the interview. Okay, what are the do's? the moment you come for the interview, make sure you enter the room, the interview room, enter the room confidently, even though you are like, I don't know, sometimes we have like butterflies in your, in your stomach, 100 butterflies, 200 butterflies, show that you are confident, okay? Smile and don't be too nervous, because when you are nervous, all right, then the rest will be like, you don't know what to say, even though you have well prepared prior to the interview. So don't be nervous, take a deep breath to calm yourself. Okay, next thing is you have to grade. Make sure you grade, all right? And Madam Fazlika has already informed you, before you come for the interview, be prepared. Have some research or who are the interviewers, okay, whether they are professors, whether they are doctors, whether they are, the titles, right? It's very important for you to address them appropriately. If they are professors, address them appropriately. If they are doctors or whoever, okay, please address them appropriately. Okay, right. So make sure you study, did a little bit of study or research on who the interviewers are prior to the interview. It's very important. Okay, now, okay. So, can you see my? Okay, right. Listen carefully to the interviewers. Okay, listening skill here. All right, so you have to listen very carefully. Okay, forget about the picture there. Okay, the hairstyle. I don't know whether it fits. The hairstyle of that candidate fits the one that Madam Fazlika mentioned just now. Okay, make sure you come with proper attire. Okay, including your hair. All right, make sure it's short hair. All right. So listen carefully to the interviewer or interviewers, because sometimes you may have more than one interviewer. Right, sometimes 2, 3, and so on. So many people are flustered. Okay, they are flustered. They got nervous with, when they tend to forget to listen actively. All right, maybe you know that the interviewers are somebody like professors, or they are of somebody of higher rank. So you start feeling nervous. Okay, so take a deep breath. Listen carefully to the interviewers. Okay, because if you're not listening carefully, then it will result in a sloppy answer later on. You will, you will get nervous and you don't know what to answer, okay, because you can't focus on, and you cannot listen, you don't listen. Okay, now according to a research study, you get judged in the very first 7 seconds of your interview. So what does it mean? So the moment you open your mouth, okay, to answer the question, the first 7 seconds of your interview is very important. So that first 7 seconds give you the impression to the interviewers whether they are going to hire you or they are going to not to hire you. Okay, all right. So 7 seconds is very important. So relax, don't get nervous. Respond to the questions. All questions must be responded. You have to respond to all questions. Don't skip or don't say I don't know. Okay, I don't know, I'm not sure. Okay, be prepared. Like Madam Fazlika has already informed just now, be prepared prior to the interview on the typical interview questions. These are typical interview questions. What makes you choose the company? Why you want to why you choose this this job and things like that. So be prepared beforehand so that you will be able to respond to that question confidently. Okay, all right. Avoid answering vague responses. Vague responses, what does it mean? For example, the interviewer asks you, what makes you choose this company? And if you were to say, I choose this company because it has good environment, then you stop there. So it's very vague. Okay, vague in the sense that good environment can mean a lot of things. Is it good environment because of the people, because of the co-workers there? Is it because of the location of the company? Is it because of the facilities that the company can provide to the workers, or what? So make sure you provide, you don't give vague responses. Make sure you elaborate well on what you mean by good environment. Okay, so that shows that you have done enough research about the company. Okay, all right. So still on responding the question, okay, make sure back up your statement about yourself with specific examples, whatever the question being asked to you. Okay, always highlight your strength. Okay, always highlight your strength. What makes you different from apart from other candidates? What makes you so special that the company should hire you? What is the strength that you have that other candidates might not have? Okay, something outstanding about you that the company would benefit if they hire you. Okay, if they hire you in that position. So make sure you highlight that this strength. All right. Okay. For example, you relate it to your skill. You have extra skill that you can highlight accomplishments. For example, in terms of skills that you have, in terms of leadership skills that you have. For example, in other soft skills. For example, technological skills that you have. All right, that the company needs. The company might want to have something extra, right, from you. So highlight that the strength that you have. Okay, now this is the part that sometimes candidates tend to ignore. Okay, which is actually asking question. Asking question to the interviewers is not wrong. It's not wrong. In fact, interviewers encourage you to ask question. Of course, at the end, don't interrupt during the interview session. Okay, at the end of the interview, normally the interviewers would say something like, okay, do you have any question to ask? Make sure you ask. Make sure you take the opportunity to ask questions. Okay, but the question that you want to ask should be intelligent questions. Don't ask stupid questions. Okay, something that something that shows you have done enough research about the company. Okay, something to show that you are really interested in the company. If you are given the position, okay, what would you do? For example, the contribution that you would give to the company. All right. For example, you can ask question like, can you tell me about career path? Okay, you want to know about the career path in that company if you were to be offered that job. Okay, what sort of career development that you can get. All right, what do you think is the most challenging aspect about this position? Okay, you can ask this kind of intelligent questions. Okay, what sort of question that you should not ask? Okay, now, okay, these are the things that you should not do, the don'ts. Don't make negative comments, especially about your previous employers. Let's say you have been working in 2-3 companies before. So when you were called for this interview, never condemn your previous employers. Doesn't matter about the location of the salary, the location, your bosses, the superiors, your co-workers, anything about the previous companies. Never say anything about, negative things about that. Okay, even though you have had such a bad experience or awful experience with the previous companies. Okay, find something positive to say, because when you are positive, the interviewers, okay, would look for somebody who always have positive thinking. All right, so always positive. So that if you always see negative things, then the interviewer would see that you are somebody that is not worth hiring. Okay, all right. So do not falsify or do not tell lies. Okay, this is very important, especially, okay, the first thing is do not falsify your resume. Your resume, remember, you send your resume beforehand, before you came to the interview. Make sure the application materials, your resume, your whatever that they required earlier, you don't falsify the information. All right, this is very, very dangerous, because your employer, your potential employer or the interviewers can simply check on your experience with the previous employers, because we have the referees in your resume, right? They can simply check on your previous job, okay, or with your previous employers. So never falsify or never give false information about your previous job or employment. Okay, all right, and don't tell lies during the interview. Always tell the truth. If you're not sure, just be transparent with the interviewers. All right, so but you never tell lies. That is the most important thing. Okay, all right. Okay, don't treat your interview casually. Casually means you come to the interview like, okay, this interview is like a practice for me, a practice, a mock interview. No, always take any interview that you attend seriously. Okay, come with positive attitude, proper attire, on time. Okay, with positive energy. You speak with energy. Show your excitement that you really want the job. Treat every interview seriously. All right, so that the employer will see that, wow, this candidate is really serious about getting this job. Okay, all right. So don't ask. This is the thing that you should not ask. Okay, ask question, that intelligent question just now, but this one never ask unless this one is brought up by your employer. Okay, never ask about the salary. May I know how much do I get if I were to accept this, if I were to get this job? 2,000, 3,000, or less than that? Never. Okay, never ask about salary. Okay, and benefit issues. For example, do I have like how many days of MCs? For example, am I allowed? Okay, 14 days, 30 days, annual leave, I said, something, benefit issues. Unless the subject is brought up by your employer will say, okay, this is your salary that we can offer you. Okay, then you can start asking. Okay, this is the benefits that we are going to give you, to provide you. Then you can start, yes, respond to that, but never ask that in the beginning. Okay, and the next thing is don't ask personal questions to the interviewers, even though you know the interviewers. Pretend that you are strangers. Okay, this is my friend, wow. So you tend to be, please be, don't ask personal questions, even though they are your close friends or whoever. Okay, all right. How many children do you have? Are you married? Are you single? No. All right. Okay. Okay. So now ending the interview after you have answered all questions confidently, okay, full energy, with good attitude and everything answered, okay, because you have prepared and practiced before, right? Okay. So end the interview. Shake hand. If this is an face-to-face, a face-to-face interview, of course you can shake hands, okay, with male and female if they are, look at the interviewer's gender, of course, okay, all right, and then thank the interviewers. Okay, if this is online interview, you don't have, you don't have the chance to shake hand, of course, but thank the interviewers for his or her time, right? In considering your application, right? So. All right, now the next part is also important. Is it time? Not yet, okay. Body language accounts as like 55% of your overall communication. What does it mean? So during the interview, make sure body language, you take note of your body language throughout the interview, okay? For example, because it contributes 55%, almost half, more than half of your communication in the interview. Posture. Your posture can convey your confidence level and whether you feel insecure during the interview or not. You look restless, you keep on moving left and right, swaying left and right, or scratching your hands, or, all the small movement, okay? Your posture, especially sit up straight to send a message that you are comfortable and confident, all right? Even though deep inside, God knows, okay? All right, so you have to show that you are comfortable, confident, all right? Okay, and sit still in your seat. Avoid fidgeting. Fidgeting is feeling of restless, small movement, fingers, avoid fidgeting. And slouching. Slouching is the way you sit in the room, okay, interview room. Make sure you sit up straight, not slouching, okay? All right. Okay, as if you are watching movie, all right? Okay, this is not movie time, okay, interview time. Your eyes, even though this is an online interview, still you need to have that eye contact. Maintain good eye contact. How to have good eye contact even though it's online? Look at the camera, look into the camera, okay, so that even though you are not close to each other, but that shows, okay, the good eye contact during the interview is very, very important. Don't focus your attention on just one person. Let's say there are 3-4 interviewers. Okay, don't just focus on one particular interviewer when you want to answer the question. Make sure you have eye contact with everyone. Okay, so be fair to everybody, okay, during the interview session. Don't focus your attention just on one person. Okay, so to make sure that you engage with everyone. Okay, hands. Hands again, like I mentioned, avoid fidgeting. Use your hands to express yourself in moderation. That is not moderate, that is not moderate, it's over exaggerate. Okay, so express yourself in moderation. Maybe you need some hand gestures, but not overly done. Okay, it's not overly done. All right, so you don't have to move your hands all the time, okay, but when needed. All right. Okay. Don't shoot. This is a habit to some people when they got nervous. When they got nervous, they want to chew something. So some people chew gums and you forget to take out the chewing gum before you enter the interview room. Okay, so don't chew gum because that is not good. Impression is very bad to the interviewers. Smell like smoke. If you're a smoker, make sure don't smoke before you enter the interview room because the smell, okay, you know, like right, the smell of these cigarettes will stick to clothes, your hairs, you know. So when you come into the interview room, okay, the smell of the smoke is, you know, it's not will give the impression to the interviewers that, oh, I'm not going to hire this kind of people in my company, you know. If you're a smoker, maybe you can use, what do we call that? Mouth spray, mouth spray, so that when you speak to the interviewers, they don't run away because of the smell. Okay, don't allow your cell phone, make sure you turn it off, okay, to make sure they don't sound during the interview. Okay, it's very irritating. Okay, right, now you are done, finish. After the interview, what should you do? Do you just, of course, you have to say thank you, shake hands. If it's offline, you can shake hands, but if it's online, you just thank the interviewers for their time. And we don't stop there. After the interview, usually the interviewers will inform you, okay, you will get results in 2 weeks' time, results of the interview. So what you have to do, okay, the moment you leave the room, analyze the interview session, especially the questions that has been asked to you just now, okay? Because that same question might come out again if you attend another, you know, interviews in the future. Okay, make points of things that you forgot to mention. Maybe if you will call again later, okay, in other interviews, perhaps you remember this. You remember this, okay, and you will prepare better for future interviews. Okay. Inform your reference. Remember our referees. Remember, you have to provide referees in the resume. So make sure you inform your referees that they might receive a call from this company that you were interviewed for. So expect calls from them, maybe, or emails from them. All right. So please inform your referees beforehand so that they are ready. Okay, they know what kind of, you know, people would call them. Okay, speak to them about the position that you apply, okay, so that they have clues, they have some clues, right, when the company call. Okay, follow up. If you do not hear from the interviewer within the expected number of days, for example, they give you 2 weeks, don't hesitate to send email to them asking about your application or your interview. Okay, and ask for update. Okay, you can ask for updates. Okay, what is the updates for my interview and things like that. All right. Okay. Okay. And then oh yeah, that's the end of it. Okay. And finally, yes. Okay. So basically, you have to follow up after 2 weeks. If 2 weeks, some interviewer will mention that 1 month, sometimes 3 weeks. It depends. So make sure you follow up. All right. Okay. By calling or email. All right. On the updates. Okay. That's all for. Is it time? Oh, okay, just nice. Okay, so that's all for during interview session, what you should do and you should not do, the do's and the don'ts. Okay, thank you very much. Any question you can post in the chat box. Okay, thank you. I pass it back to Yadi.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Rafida, for her session just now. I think the topic that she touched on is very significant to our students to prepare themselves for the interview session later on when they go for the interview. All right. So I think I have a few questions from YouTube. Can we go straight away to the question, Dr. Rafida and Madam Fazlika?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So there are 2 questions from Che Nurul Huda Che Baharum from our YouTube. Assalamualaikum. I would like to know if the interviewer used both languages during the interview session, for example, Bahasa Melayu and English. So which one should we take? With one language or mix? So should I pass to Madam Fazlika first? All right.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
All right. So to answer this question, you can actually follow the language that being used by the interviewers actually. Okay. So if the interviewer use English language, then you should follow. And if the interviewer use Malay language, then you should also follow. Unless it has been stated otherwise. All right. For example, in certain in some sessions of the interview, all right, the interviewer will say that I'm going to ask a question in Malay. However, I would like you to respond in English. So you have to follow, if they specifically stated that, then you have to follow the instruction given. Okay, so that is my question. Unless Dr. Rafida have something to add on.
Yes, Dr. Frida, do you have something to add on?
Yes, correct. Yeah. It depends on the interviewers. Sometimes they use mixed language, BM and Malay. So, and they did not restrict the session to be all in English or in Malay. So, meaning that you can use both. But if, like Madam Farzika said, it stated clearly that, okay, I'm going to ask you in Malay, but you may answer in Malay or English. So that is an option for you to choose whether Malay or English, right? So it depends on the interviewer. If you are not clear, always ask. There is nothing wrong to ask. Okay, ask the interviewer, okay, is it okay for me to answer in Malay, or do you want do you want me to answer this in English? Okay, then if you're not sure, it's okay to ask the interviewers, all right?
All right. So I think I hope that answers your question, Cik Nurul Huda Cik Barum. Another question from Cik Nurul Huda from YouTube. Also, she wanted to know how to rate the proficiency level for each language that we have if the interviewer asks you. Basically the option available starting from 1 to 10. So it is divided into reading, speaking, and writing. So how are we going to evaluate ourselves on in terms of that? Can we start? Can we give to Madam Fazika first? Okay.
All right. So what you can do is you can use the 10-point scale. Okay, 10-point scale whereby normally 8 till 9 is actually a better indication of the proficiency level. Okay, so it depends on your performance. I mean, your CGPA or your academic transcripts and whatnot. Okay, if you want to actually rate them according to reading, speaking, writing. Okay, all right. But another way is actually to use the skills levels. Okay, the skills level meaning you can actually rate yourself as a beginner, intermediate, proficient, or expert. Okay, so those are two ways on how you can actually rate your proficiency level.
All right. Thank you, Madam Fazika, for the answer. Okay. And then one question from our viewer here as well. How can we balance our response about ourselves without sounding arrogant? Dr. Rafida, what do you think? Arrogant.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. Always, this is very important. Always respect your interviewers. Always respect your interviewers. Don't show, even though you know, you, don't arrogant is not, good attitude when you come for an interview. Okay, it's good to show that this is my strength. Okay, this is my strength. I have this, and I have this. All right, this is the skill that I have. Of course, you have to highlight your strength. Arrogant is something that you are not showing the extent to show that you are arrogant is when you highlight your strength. That is not arrogant, because you want the company to know what are your strengths. So you have to tell them. It's not arrogant. Okay, you have to tell them what are the strengths that you have. You say that you have you have what you are public speaker. You won a public speaker award, for example. Okay, and there's one skill that you can speak to public very confidently. So why not? Okay, highlight that one. That is not arrogant. When people or companies want to hire you, okay, they will look at this confident level. Okay, they will look at your confident level. How confident are you in showing that your strength, all the benefits that the company, how the company would benefits if they hire you. So of course you have to show all those strengths, right? That is not considered arrogant. Okay, so don't worry, just highlight all your strength. All right.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Rafida. All right. Another question from me, Dr. Rafida. Okay, so I think most of the students would like to know the answer. What if what if a candidate or the interviewee does not know how to answer the questions, that being asked by the interviewer? Should the candidate make up the answer, or you have another suggestion that to overcome the situation?
If you don't know the answer, you have, of course, to be honest. All right. Perhaps you did not do enough research. That's why prior to the interview, make sure you do enough research about the company, about who are the interviewers, especially about the company, about the job that you're applying. Okay. So if you have done enough research, okay, at least you are not, blank, for example, you at least you have something to say about the company when they ask you about the company. If let's say the question, you really don't know what to answer, okay, there is no answer at that time, maybe because you are nervous or you did not do enough research, and then you have to be transparent, tell the truth. Like I said, don't lie. Okay, be transparent. I'm so sorry, but you have to tell them that I'm so sorry, I'm not sure about this question, but perhaps, okay, I can I can have a look at it after the interview session, or you will do some further research about that company. If the question is about the company and you did not do enough research about the company, of course you cannot bluff, right? You cannot bluff about the company. So you have to be transparent. Don't tell lies. Okay. All right. Just apologize and tell them that perhaps you did not do enough research about the company, about the job that you're applying. So you have to be transparent. Never falsify. Okay. Okay. All right. And do not tell lies. That is very important. So because companies would not want to hire people who in the first place start telling lies. All right. Okay.
All right, thank you, Dr. Frida. Okay, one last question to Madam Nofazika before we end our Q&A session here. So I think most of the tricky question that the interviewer will ask you during the interview session. What do you like least? What you don't like about your job later on. So how are you going to answer that during the interview session, Madam Fazika, without sounding negative about your job position? What do you, for example, the question asks you, what do you like least about your job position?
The current job, you mean?
No, the
The job
current job.
that the current job or the job that you're applying for?
Both, I think.
Okay. All right. Okay, so I think all the time, okay, in order to answer that kind of questions, first you have to calm the interview jitters, okay, because if you get that kind of questions, definitely you will try to stretch everything and inform the interviewer. So I think that shouldn't be done during an interview. Okay, so another thing is remember I think the same thing of being arrogant just now. What you have to do is you have to remember your manners. So whenever that you get this kind of questions, okay, that definitely will trigger you. So I think in order to answer this kind of question, you have to remain positive. Okay, so even though you might face something that you dislike in the future, or currently things that you dislike about your current employer. So what you have to do is you have to stay positive and you have to give credit to others. Okay, even though you try to leave the company that you are currently working, I think it is good for you to actually give credits, okay, to the current company that you are working with. All right, so that actually shows a good impression of you and a reflection of your personality. So that's all I can say about it.
All right, thank you so much, Madam Fazlika, and that will be the end of our Q&A session. So thank you so much for Dr. Rafida and Madam No Fazlika for sharing with us on the interview tips, also skills for the students in the meeting as well as in the YouTube live now. Ladies and gentlemen, so we are going to have a photo session for a while. So please turn on your camera. All right, you can switch on your camera if you are ready to take photo with us. All right.
Okay, is everyone ready?
Yes, I think everyone's ready.
Okay. All right, 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, one more time. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay.
All right, thank you, Miss Bella. All right, so everyone, we're coming to the end of our webinar for Go Global 2022. So thank you so much for today. Thank you, Dr. Rafida. Thank you, Madam Fazlika, UITM, UP students and staff. We appreciate your willingness to be here with us throughout the session. So before we end the session, I would like to remind everyone to fill in the feedback form for the e-certificate as well as for the training hours for UITM staff. For our participants for Go Global 2022 on Zoom meeting, please stay back to listen further explanation on the task. Okay, so for the participant on YouTube Live, thank you for your time and hopefully we'll see you again for in our next webinar, inshallah. Till we meet again, Assalamualaikum and have a good day. So again, for Go Global Participant 2022, please stay back to listen to the task that will be given by Dr. Rafida. All right. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for those who are watching in our YouTube Live. Thank you. We will see you in another webinar from APB Kuala Pilah. Thank you, everyone.
Students, please remain. Don't leave the Zoom meeting yet. Okay. Okay, please don't leave the Zoom meeting yet, students. Yeah. Okay, please remain here. Okay. Let me. Can I? Belum lagi. Okay. Okay. Kafi pun belum buat lagi. Wow. Boleh? Yang dekat YouTube. Link dia dekat komen. Boleh? Gitu tak boleh kan? Sebab itu bukan kita host. Ini kita host. Kan kita yang host kali ni, kita boleh share link. Hari tu dia yang bagi YouTube. Kan YouTube link.